I have to find my balance again with that.
Yeah.
But like I was finally like at the point where my body was not so much my enemy. And I was pretty
Yes.
proud about that.
Yeah.
Whereas now maybe it's more of just something that like I can use against myself, if that makes sense.
Guys, I found out that the first meal Cena had today was when I came over.
I had eaten a couple of those little pedophore cakes.
Cena.
And wait, no, I did eat. I made a flatbread pizza with
Okay, that's
feta on
acceptable.
it. I did eat that,
Acceptable.
and then I put hot sauce on it because it wasn't enough.
Understandable. Yes. How did your relationships evolve, as in family, work, or friends? Um, we. I don't know if this is gonna sound better or not, but like we reconnected with Daddy.
Yes, we did.
Like he has like progressed so much in his life to where he's like lived in North Carolina and Kentucky and now in Missouri.
Missouri.
Missouri. And just reconnecting with him like in person and just in chat has been great.
Yeah,
It was just like something missing and brought back to life.
I agree.
Yeah.
And especially since I had such a Dustin and I have like a long-standing
Yes.
relationship. And
Yes.
but
I
you
know
know,
what you
every
mean.
friendship and relationship
Yes.
is a relationship, whatever. And we had been distant because like adulthood happens, but we
Yes.
still tried to talk to each other.
Yes.
But it's like, especially with the podcast, we have something to draw us together now.
Uh-huh.
And then of course, like we do have our chats that we all talk in
Yes.
every day when we can.
Yeah.
It's a no pressure thing. And we can just go in, vent about something, whatever.
Yes.
So I am very happy and thankful that he's back in our lives actively.
I think it was very serendipitous of when he came back into our lives because of the whole thing that's happened with Steven happened when you guys were actively talking to each other and seeing each other.
Like that was one of the things, like I almost said something when you asked the question, what challenges did you overcome?
Yeah.
Steven's death. I don't want to say, oh, it's a challenge.
Well,
like,
it is
I don't
mentally.
I don't know the appropriate place to put there. But more than anything, that's what's weighed on my mind and my heart every single day since.
Yes, I understand.
And it's like, well, I think I've gotten to I don't cry about it anymore.
Yeah.
But it's like still something I think about it every single day.
I mean, it's
yes, affected me.
The way that it happened is probably what affects you more mentally, I'm sure.
Correct. Yeah, there's just a lot that
yes
affects everything. And I think by having Dustin back in my life, our lives, my life, whatever,
now being our daddy of Wife Wednesday.
Yes, like we all have like, I hate the term roles in each other's life, but it's not just like, oh, we're friends. It's like, yeah, we're friends, but we also have something that like draws us together as well.
Yes.
I really think if we hadn't been like rekindled all of our friendships beforehand, it would have been even harder to deal with.
Yes, I agree, because I would not have known how to console you, to be honest. Because I didn't know this person, and I didn't know your relationship with this person except for like the months that led up to that, or the year or whatever.
It was about a year.
Yeah. And that's all I knew about him. I never met him, nothing.
Mm-hmm. Whereas Dustin and I had this history with him.
Yes.
So I guess I would say I agree with you. The most important like relationship that developed was the one back with Dustin.
Yeah.
And with that, also Shauna.
Yes.
Like the four of us work well together.
Yes, we really do. We would literally run a business.
Yes.
And succeed at it.
Yes.
What would you do differently this year if you could?
not total my car.
But that would have been no D&D.
That's true. That's true.
But
There's
yes,
a
I
price for
understand.
everything.
Yes.
I miss I would say in the last 2 weeks, I have actually had physical yearnings for my Ford Focus.
Yeah.
I have just like,
Well, yeah.
I've been homesick. I think it's homesickness for having my vehicle.
Yes.
You know?
I know what you mean. Me, mine's just mainly about working places. Like I loved working at Jojo at Gojo and like meeting people, but the main thing I loved about Gojo was working with you. The schedule, yes, but literally seeing you every day.
I agree. I've been having a very, very hard time adjusting.
Because we only saw each other walking into work at our breaks and walking out of work. Or if I saw you during the day when you were walking by, that's all I needed.
Yeah, it was just...
You know? And now we see each other when we have to record.
Yeah.
Did you want to say anything else?
No.
About that? What did you do for your physical and mental health?
Take my depression pills.
Yep. Who or what had the biggest impact on your life this year?
It was like a multi-part answer.
Okay. You don't have to say me because I'm sitting here. I'm just saying.
You impact my life daily.
I know.
Pretty much kind of like what we just said, like with Dustin
and
Steven.
Mm-hmm.
I think Steven's death has impacted me so much, and I've not been the same since.
Yeah.
My husband.
Uh-huh.
I'm not giving any explanations about anything.
Yeah.
Dustin. I would say that. That's
this is gonna sound odd, but TikTok for me. Not in a sense of it just being like social media, get away from everything. The things that are offered in the TikToks themselves. Like I have a lot of mental health, like on mental health TikTok and on poetry TikTok. I mainly it's for Cena people. I send Cena poetry ones all the time.
I love it.
That are meant. It's like ones that are meant for like
romance.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is me and Cena.
Yeah,
I give Cena the romance, and she can get the D from her husband. I'm just here to romance her.
And listen, I have always likened myself, and maybe this was a little bit of shame, to Scarlett O'Hara, in the sense of when, oh God, what was his name in Gone with the Wind? Rhett.
Yes.
He goes, you look like you're the kind of woman who needs kissed and often, and by someone who knows how. Yeah.
That's basically me with Cena. You look like a woman who needs emotional romance, and I know how to do it. Let me give it to you.
I need the intimacy. And ever since I heard that line, I was like, go figure that's the one thing that rings true with me.
Yeah. What are you thankful for this year?
Oh my gosh. So much.
Just one thing.
Just
give me one thing. It doesn't have to be like the most thankful thing you have. Just one thing that you were thankful for this year.
My parents.
Titus.
I love that.
Yep. What did you leave unfinished?
A novel. Story of my life.
A lot of things, just like hobby things for me.
Yeah, we already talked about this. Pick it up, start it for a little bit.
Yep.
Can't stick with a hobby or a habit.
Yeah, I think that's it, really.
Mm-hmm.
What was the best compliment you received? Mine was just last week.
What was it? Tell me.
My coworker was like, Nicole, you sound like you've worked here for years. Like we had someone transfer from one department into ours.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's kind of learning everything like we did because it's totally different. Like it's probably like the same systems and everything, but it's a totally different insurance thing. Okay. Uh and I was helping her last week because what she's doing I'm a master at basically. Like I can do it faster than anyone there right now because I learned it fresh and new when it was revamped. So that just felt nice to like someone notice that, hey, you're doing great kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this about work. My work mom, was gone all week last week, and then I'm gone this week, and I will not have seen her for 2 weeks, and it depresses me. Because she's my Shauna at work, basically. They're like, sorry, do you have a compliment that you received that you can think of or recall on?
2.
Oh, okay.
1. Okay. So I'll save that one for last. So I'll go with the work one first.
Okay.
When I first started my job.
That work tea you had was great, by the way, the other day. Go ahead.
Okay. So when I first started at my job, and I was at the first branch I was working at.
Yeah.
Or I was training. My trainer ended up with COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Someone else ended up with COVID.
Yes.
It was rampant across the office. So literally someone had to come from another position in.
Yeah.
And we're like trying to run this, and like it's within my first 3 weeks of training at this point. And my thing is I always want to make sure I have the correct answer or I'm doing things correctly. So I will make sure before I do something, like, is this the correct way? Yes or no? Like that kind of thing. And I was doing something, and the one girl who had to come from another department, she turned to me and she said, Sina, you know a lot more than you let yourself believe. She's like, you're doing so much better than you think, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And she actually emailed me last week because we had these like newsletter questionnaires things. And she said, Sina, your confidence will come with time. She's like, but you are a valuable asset to our team.
Yes.
And so that like that felt amazing. It was validation, you know?
I know what you mean, because like Brittany, who I am like a trainee with, okay, we're on the same level. Every day we get distributed like 10 changes or less to like policies. And then we have our other work, like we are in charge of apps, or if we're training, or like we have web changes that we have to check to see, and we have like letters of the alphabet that we have to be in charge of, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I always seem to finish it really fast. Like I'm just a doer. I do it. This is when I do this. This is what, like, I go through my list every morning. This is what I'm doing. And when it comes to her, she has more anxiety over doing the thing that it takes her all day to do these changes, when it took me like an hour, if that. I mean, we're only doing like some easy ones right now. We're not in the whole shebang. Okay. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when I'm doing it, I'm like, you're like, am I getting easy ones? Am I doing them wrong? Because there's some that you have to watch because they need to be referred to our next level to say, hey, can I do this kind of vibe? And they'll tell you if you're not allowed to do it. Like, they'll be like, hey, you should have referred this to underwriting, and kind of thing. And I'd never gotten that, but it just makes me question on if I'm doing things correctly, or if it's just her and her making sure she's doing things correctly, and she just takes a little longer to do it. Because I'm a person that when I get to know how to do something, I am like, let's get it done as fast as possible.
Correct. Yeah.
Kind of person. So I know what you mean about questioning and things.
And it's like my questions are like more for like the types of things that yeah,